Well, here we are at the cabin again, my off-grid cabin in the woods. And the water line is all covered. It's sunk in a little bit. We'll have to add some more dirt, rake it up more, drive on it again, or add some more all the way through the fields to the barn and up here to the cabin. That way the line's a little more protected. And we fixed the water a little better in the bathroom. Made the door for the generator not squeak anymore, so it's not so loud at night. And added another solar light on the back here. And we added a little insulated shed for the pipe coming up out of the ground into the bathroom. Usually it'd be the opposite. Your pipe would come up inside the house or the building and come out. It's one of those nice faucets that turns off farther inside for when you have cold weather, so the faucet doesn't freeze. Got the hose hung up and a box down below that controls the main pipe to the bathroom and to this hose, and then also a separate valve just for this hose to turn it on. Stain the wood, put a little roof on it, some rubber mats at the bottom, put gravel around it. So inside the bathroom now, with the water heater, instead of having a jug that the water gets pumped out of from the instant propane water heater, now it has a little regulator from the faucet, and it has a signal that's sent through the electrical cord that releases a magnet to let the water flow through a certain amount. And then we shorten the hose that goes up just to the shower head so it doesn't have to go all the way around and take a while. And then I have that white hose back here just to fill up my drinking bottles, so I'll only be bringing the 5-gallon jug from under the kitchen sink in here to refill up with water. So now I'll have as much water as I want for a shower until I run out of a little propane tank, which they're lasting so long, it's crazy. Just a little green camping 5 or 1 pound, I think it is, propane tanks. So this faucet here turns off in that box outside. So you turn it on, and then you can use this Y and turn on the hose for the drinking water or for the instant water heater, and then just turn it off. So that'll be great for winter, because even if it freezes in the bathroom, this won't freeze because it turns off back inside the box out there, and that's all insulated. And then we put on a quick disconnect here, quick connect, and disconnect it here, and then I can just drain this out so it doesn't freeze in the winter, and I could just put that inside the cabin actually. And then I'll disconnect that hose and let it drain in the tub so that doesn't freeze in that little loop right there if any water's caught there. But we only have to do that in the winter and just watch the forecast and only do that on freezing nights. But until then, we'll just leave it all hooked up, and I'll just be turning on that faucet before I take a shower. So now I have as much water as I want, as long as I have the propane bottles to heat it up instant hot water, which is pretty fancy for off-grid. And I'm still keeping the 5-gallon jug that was in there and the pump just in case the power went out over on the other piece of property where the water comes from, even though we have a generator backup. That way I can always take a shower no matter what and maintain my off-grid. So I think we're pretty much done. Besides, we're thinking of building a fire pit over there by the chairs and the table. But obviously we can't use that till fall. Make like a gravel path from the gravel there and have the path go down and over to the chairs and table and around the fire pit, and make a fire pit maybe out of those nice landscaping blocks that kind of have a rough rounded front. People make fire pits out of them, or use some actual big rocks. Make a lower fire pit would be fun. And then we could always, later on, if we wanted to, could actually do wood on the bathroom shed on the outside and insulate in between the plastic and the wood and have it match the cabin and have it insulated. So that's something we could do later on if we wanted, but right now pretty much everything's done. Now I don't have to take my jugs to get water, just like I said, the one below the kitchen, bring it into the bathroom or outside the bathroom and fill it up with the drinking water. But I don't have to take the bathroom jug to go get water for a shower anymore. Just take my trash to the dump like normal people, or you could have trash service, but we don't have that out here. And there's my extra blue jug of water for the bathroom just in case. And then the drain for this kitchen sink, so I just drain that. So it's just getting used to operating off-grid. So taking the trash to the dump, like I said, emptying the drain water from the kitchen sink. In the winter, taking the propane tanks to get filled. Getting gas for the generator. Stuff that you kind of wouldn't really have to do when I was in town at my townhouse, but I mean, hey, living out here, it's a nice trade-off for total serenity. I needed this in my life. After my career and living in town, it's nice to be back out in the country like I was. Nice breeze, although now I just kind of got to be concerned of wildfires, but it's good to be prepared. I always keep everything in my car, no matter what kind of situation, all year long. I keep a couple pairs of changes of clothes in my car, and food and water, medical supplies, all kinds of stuff in your car you should keep all year long. That way, if a fire came up, all I'd have to grab is my cat and maybe a couple other things if I had time, and then go. And if I had time, I could take the hose and spray down the roof and all the wood of the side of the cabin before I took off. That way it has a better chance of surviving. I could put a sprinkler on the roof like my parents' house, 2 sprinklers, that would be nice. But my brother and my dad have cleared out the land here a long time ago, so no fire is going to be really creeping down here. There's not much brush compared to other people's property. The fire could just go, flying through the treetops, and then embers could land on the deck or on the cabin, but that's why if I had time, I would soak all the wood before I took off. And really being prepared is great, like I said, for any situation like this virus. People kind of were getting toilet paper and food and water, but I keep telling everybody all the time, and a lot of people just don't want to think about it, that you should be prepared for anything like an earthquake. They say we're way overdue for an earthquake for pretty much the whole west coast of the United States. And a lot of people don't prepare. I mean, a lot of people do, but for an earthquake, you won't have time to go out and get everything you'll have wished you had already prepared. Versus the virus, we had kind of time to go out and get everything we needed to be able to stay at home for a few months for the virus. So just think about an earthquake or whatever kind of disaster we could have. You're going to wish that you had prepared. And it doesn't have to be like the preparedness like on TV shows of prepping for different situations, doomsday stuff. You don't have to go that extreme. But at least having some extra food and water always on hand, for however much you need for each person. So for myself, it's easy to have just, quite a few gallons of water, bottled water, and cans of soup. You could have tons of cans of soup if you had to get down to just that, if you had no other food left. but and to have some in your vehicle too, and a bug out bag if you wanted to have that as well. But just being prepared for whatever it can be, that way if something happens, you're not going to be so devastated and freaked out and trying to rely on emergency services, because sometimes there might not be help on the way if things got so bad. You're going to have to rely on yourself to have food, water, medical, toilet paper, if you want to survive and not freak out. I could easily live out of the stuff that's already in my car. I could easily live out of my car for probably a couple months. I might have to get some more food and some more water. That'd be easy on the way out if I had to leave. But it's worth thinking about, and you can make a little list if you want, or just kind of look around and see what you really would take, what you want to have prepared, what you need to get, and really think about being prepared for any situation. That way you're not freaking out when a natural disaster or virus happens. And it's kind of gives you some peace of mind knowing that you're prepared and don't have to run and grab everything like some people do. You can help others, or you can get the hell out of town. Sorry, this kind of turned into preparedness, but it's important. Well, hopefully I'll get some more videos of any other projects we have going, plus animal videos, so subscribe and like my channel if you can. I'll see you in a little while. Bye-bye.